This was a good week for Hunter Biden, and frankly, the truth, because Hunter Biden just won a $1.7 million award in his defamation lawsuit against Patrick Byrne, the former CEO of Overstock, the same one that Dominion is still suing over the lies he said about their voting machines. That, and in part of Trump's document dump related to his election speech was full of lies, was a document that talks about Russia seemingly helping Trump with regard to, yes, Biden and Ukraine and that hoax. Let's get into this. My name is Dina Doll with the MeidasTouch Network. Now, first off, Hunter Biden's defamation lawsuit. Again, against Patrick Byrne. The judge, Patrick Byrne tried to get this dismissed with a summary judgment motion last year. And Hunter Biden was able to overcome that and not have it dismissed. And then Byrne basically just decided to never show up to court when it was set to go to a jury trial. He didn't come, and repeatedly after the judge tried to order him again and again, he just failed to show up. Of course, because he doesn't have a defense. Because with defamation is very hard to prove against a public figure or something of public interest, because we want there to be robust reporting. So you have to prove that the person actually knew something was false or had reckless disregard to the truth. That is called actual malice. That is what Hunter Biden had to prove. It is a high bar. Well, the judge found that there was enough evidence for actual malice. Essentially, Patrick Byrne claimed that Hunter Biden was trying to take a $800 million bribe from the Iranian government in order to unfreeze $8 billion of their money. And the judge goes through about how Byrne claimed that there was a recording, but people who heard the recording said that there was nothing in it that was about what he claimed it was. The FBI agent who he says he was sent it to said he never received the recording. I mean, this is not unusual for Trump and his allies. We're not surprised about this. But it is important to note how important these defamation lawsuits are, because we have seen in real time also this week what happens as a result, because the way Fox reacted, or let's say not reacted, to Trump's speech is a direct result of the nearly $1 billion they had to pay in the defamation lawsuit Dominion brought against them. So in this case against Hunter Biden, Patrick Byrne was ordered to pay the $1.7 million because of how Patrick Byrne defamed Hunter Biden. Patrick Byrne is still trying to defend the lawsuit that Dominion has against him. In fact, just this month, he's trying to get the judge dismissed over a claimed conflict of interest. I remember talking years long. But certainly, Patrick Byrne is probably going to keep quiet this time around. Defamation lawsuits work. Look at how Fox did not react. Fox and Friends did not even mention Trump's speech the morning after his speech. Laura Ingraham later that night did not mention it at all. Sean Hannity very briefly mentioned it. And it was as if he was coached by a lawyer, as I'm sure he was. He basically only said, Trump said this, the president said that. He made it very clear that the network was not going to get behind anything Trump said, because we have all been here before. But the reason why Fox this time was not willing to promote Trump's lies was because they were sued and they had to pay out. Now, Hunter Biden also brings up the fact of this document that was perhaps accidentally disclosed that seems to really vindicate him. He says, last night, Donald Trump released a declassified document that says his own intelligence community identified Putin as personally running an operation to defeat my father in 2020, built around a fake Burisma corruption scandals centered around me and executed through prominent Americans. Trump tasked his personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, to fly to Kyiv and meet a known Russian agent. An operation formally sanctioned by Trump's own Treasury Department on September 10, 2020, and expanded to include more named actors on January 11, 2021. Oh, and don't forget the Russian-linked FBI informant, Alexander Smirnov, who later pled guilty to making the entire Burisma bribery story up. I imagine that was very satisfying for Hunter Biden to see Trump, of all people, declassify and release that document. But let's hear from Hunter Biden himself, because as we know, he has been unleashed. His ability to go out there and tell his own story in his own way. And what he just said recently about Trump, I think most of us feel the same way. Take a listen.
I would tell him to go fuck his fucking self. That's what I would tell him. And please leave. I mean, like I can be civil and I can tell you like, oh, well, listen, he's the president. I don't want him to be pissed off at me. He's the president of the United States. Well, obviously, wouldn't you want to have a constructive? Fuck that. This man has tried to torture me for fucking 10 years. He says the shit that he says about my dad. The shit that he says about my dad. His obsession with tormenting my dad. Hanging a picture of an auto pen on the fucking, on the colonnade. Demeaning him and all the things that he said about him. And anyone would expect me to do anything outside of which I would never do is physical violence against that person. Well, what fuck kind of man would I be if I didn't tell him to go fuck himself? What kind of man would I be? And I ask that to all of you UFC fans. I'm a UFC fan too. You know, I've challenged Don Jr. to a fucking cage match 3 times now. Never heard back from him. That's how I'm going to pay all my debt.
I love a good blanket when I'm sitting on the couch. In fact, my whole family does. This is why we have multiple Lola blankets, because otherwise we all fight over one. The reason why Lola blankets is also my favorite is because I have to wash it a lot with the kids and the pets, and most blankets, they don't look or feel very good after a few washes. But with Lola blankets, there's no shedding, there's no pilling, they stay flawless. It's because they're double hemmed, they're machine washable, they're faux fur luxury. They look stylish. I mean, there's a reason why thousands of people love gifting them. They have over 20,000 5-star reviews. And one of the things that I really love so much about this company is they donate a portion of their proceeds to breast cancer research. In fact, the company was founded by brothers Tommy and Will, who saw it as their mission to bring life-changing softness to the world, inspired by their mom, who found comfort in her blanket while living with breast cancer. So Lola is dedicated to creating the highest quality products on the market. And for a limited time, our listeners can get 40% off select Lola blanket products with code MISTRIAL at checkout. Just head to lolablankets.com and use code MISTRIAL. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know we sent you. Wrap yourself in luxury with Lola blankets. So as Trump is spewing his lies in that election speech, he's also threatening networks for not airing his speech. The reason why, of course, is because he's a known liar when it comes to election lies, and his favorite network is even distancing himself with this. But of course, he tries to threaten them with revoking their licenses. But let's just remember, there is such thing as the rule of law and defamation, and it has been a powerful tool in holding people to account who lie. Dominion knows this. Georgia workers know this. Hunter Biden knows this. And certainly E.G. Carroll knows this. My name is Dina Doll. Be sure to hit the free subscribe button for the YouTube, the MeidasTouch YouTube, if you haven't already. And check out the Mistrial audio podcast wherever you listen to audio podcasts. That'd be so helpful to support our show. And check out our sponsors. So grateful for the Mistrial sponsors because they don't censor what I have to say, which is so important right now.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.